I'm sorry that you missed it out from the previous panels, but this is true and it's coming. Thanks God, we might not have transboundary taxation, but that's to be seen. The professor knows much better than me. Anyway, I'm the bearer of a good news as well, and that is technology. You like it or not, if you want to solve our problems, technology can play a major role, not to mention, in my opinion, the major role. Simple things. I want to have an autonomous ship or an autonomous airplane. I don't know if you know it, but when you fly with the 380, the 340, the 330 and the Dreamliner, in many occasions the pilot or the captain are for decoration purposes. When you're crossing the channel in the United Kingdom and France, nowadays there are ferries without lifeboats. Nobody knows about that, but there is technology to take over the line. There is technology to make the captain unnecessary. Now, I'm not here to preach all those things because I've done it last year. What I'm here to preach you today with the panel is that we have solutions which they can resolve our problems, they can increase our efficiency, they can increase our communication, they increase our viability and availability of data, which means we can become productive, efficient, and therefore we squeeze as much as possible energy out of a molecule of fuel, and therefore we decarbonize ourselves much faster until we reach the point that we have to find a sustainable fuel, because as long as we are burning fossil fuels, you're going to have the problem of greenhouse gases, we like it or not. Therefore, we need to go to renewable, sustainable processes. And those processes means new fuels, which we do not have. Now, having said that, panacea of all, I love the technology, but does it come without any problems? The answer is it comes with challenges. And the challenges starts, what technology shall I adopt? Some technology has been developed for me, but might not be good for you. One size doesn't fit all. Secondly, what is my people gonna say? Am I gonna adopt that procedure now, or shall I stay put for another few years since I am retiring and keep it out? I don't need to be retired. Companies don't invest on training, therefore there are challenges about how to use the technology. And in conclusion, in my opinion, one of the major problems we are facing with technology, it's not to choose the right one, because there are many consultants in the room that they can tell you which and which not is good technology, and you are able and you're very well educated to choose your technology, but it is the resistance to uptake technology. And if we look into the world of decarbonization, one of the major things we need to do is uptake of specific technology for specific purposes to decarbonize ourselves. And it's because I know that much better than shipping, because this is not a problem of shipping, it's a problem of the whole world, and especially the shore-based industry. But without any further ado, with these thoughts in mind, and I hope that my panelists, they convince me now to remain in the shipping industry, I will start from the far end. Yeah, I know you were panicking before, but you can do it. I know you have slides, so you might want to come up here. You want to use the...
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I noticed we cleaned the room, so probably I'll try and keep most of you awake. So I just want to give you a quick update on Intellian. Keep changing. So Intellian is about 15 years old. We claim we got the #1 market share, which is an independent report by Comsys. We basically have done 14 innovative patents in this industry. We're serving about 500 customers globally, and we deliver our annual turnover is about $130 million this year. So this is just a little bit about the company. I said we invest back of all the investments. We throw about 10% back into R&D, because obviously to keep your customers happy, you want to invest a lot with R&D to keep up with the latest trends and in this industry, which is very fast changing. We operate 14 global offices, mainly in, we have 3 in South Korea. I work out of the, I work out of Southampton in a place called the UK, which I think you heard about before Brexit. And then we got an office in Rotterdam, which does the logistics. And then we have some places in the US, which who knows what happens in the US. So as I said, we recently went public on the Korean Stock Exchange, which is called the KOSDAQ, I believe. I'm sure get some shares, it's worth it. And then said we shipped about a total of 80,000 maritime antennas, including VSAT, FBB, TBRO. So again, investment, as I said, this is our innovation centre, we call it, which is our main production facility just south of Seoul. And what we're doing is we've expanded that at least 2 to 3 times since I joined the company, which was 5 years ago. And now we're doing another expansion this year. So you'll see that, which is our own building, so to speak. So we're all going under one roof. To look after our European customers, because my colleague there has got a huge facility in Denmark. So we've just invested in a $6 million company, which again we're building ourselves in Rotterdam, so just near the Hague airport. So we claim here that we're number 1 in Fleet Express. I think my colleague might argue with it. So again, Fleet Express is mainly the solution from from Inmarsat, who unfortunately are not here today. But basically what we're doing is, this is mainly about the Fleet Express, the Global Express, as you see, which is the fastest growing network, GEO network on the planet at the moment. So we just recently, we changed our antennas. We've called the NX series, which is our new kind of platform, which is expandable from 60 centimeter up to 1.5 meters. And today I'm showing you here the two formats for the 1 meter, which is the GX100, and the 60 centimeter, which is aptly named the GX60. So the GX100, this is again developed, all our terminals now are developed for dual KU-KA, primarily on geostationary, but we also have the ability to work on MEO and GEO satellites, which you will hear more about as the months progress, but that's the new kind of constellations coming into our market. So again, we've done this very much with the idea of the customers, so a lot easier, faster, stronger solutions for you. Again, this is the smaller system, which should be released in the next few months. Again, all single cable, lightweight, all ready for the next generation of satellites, and all using very simple technology. And finally, this is all, basically, in our industry, you had to read the manual. Now we're going away from reading the manual to making something very much more easier to understand, so you don't need a degree in Vulcan or some other kind of language that we use. So that's it from me. That gives you an update of Intellian. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your introduction. Can I ask Yannis to check the
I'll take my name with me.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yannis, Pastellas. I work for Safebridge. We are trying to tackle the issues of the process of paper certificates. So, electronic certificates in maritime industry. As Safebridge, we issue digital certificates since 2012. We have an online platform training seafarers, so we issued about 180,000 electronic certificates. We took that technology now to the next level, so we opened it up to training vendors, which is costly to issue and handling process of paper certificates or maintaining the paper certificates. For crew managers, which again, they have a lengthy and costly application for endorsement process or maintaining the database of seafarer certificates. For flag states, we noticed that 80% of the time spent is on manual data entry and verification of the authenticity of certificates. and also issuing paper mailing costs of the certificates to the crew managers or ship owners. And for the crew management, again, back to them receiving certificates, scan them, insert the certificates in the ERP system, and again post it to the vessel. So within the maritime industry, there are many brilliant startups trying to solve and bring value to the industry through many very good products. What we discovered after some time issuing certificates is the actual burden is manual data entry of the seafarers' data. Even if flag states have an open, an online system, again, someone has to manually input the data. And the verification of the document's authenticity. Moreover, there's still many stakeholders that they require and demand these certificates to be printed, especially again for the verification process. This defeats the whole purpose of having a digital certificate. We cannot have paper certificates mindset and trying to make it digital process. So what we are working on is a completely new idea on the table to try to disrupt the whole manual process of the certificates. So the main idea is for the seafarer to register on a holder app, like fintech technology. I don't know if anyone has a Revolut application of the new banks that you have to scan your ID, automatically the app does it for you. You take a face picture, again from your mobile device, and in half an hour, 1 hour, you're verified. So all your details are verified. There is an application that is called automatic robot process. So most of the flag states are compliant with the FAL guideline, and they do have an open URL, so anyone can go, again, the manual entry of the certificates data and get back the result. So we're working on that now to make it an automatic process through OCR technology. So uploading a certificate, recognize a unique tracking number and the details, and do the process automatically. Crew management can use this, our platform MyCert, for endorsement purposes. So we can connect both the ERP of the company and the flag state and do this automatically. And if it's connected with MyCert, then there will be minimal verification process for flag states as well. Again, port state control, as part also for the European single window, the app will be able to send a link to the next port of call with all the certificates of seafarers' ships, and then they can review the documents even before ships arrive. Well, in doing this, we face resistance from the maritime stakeholders, that is training centers, crewing companies, flag states, port authorities. It's an evident obstacle in this process, in this journey we are doing for the last 2 years. We believe the technology is already here. We have it, and our main challenge is the willingness to change. We know change is difficult for every human being, but giving a solution that will reduce administrative costs on a training center, the immediate answer we get, but we have to fire some people. No, you don't have to. You can use the people in other processes. We believe that a collaboration between the private sector and government sector and all the maritime stakeholders, which can achieve the goal and disrupt this manual entry and verification of electronic certificates. Thank you very much.
Okay. So contrary to my colleagues here, I do not have slides, but I will unashamedly use the Tototheo's logo, which has been a partner since 40 years or so. I'm hailing from Denmark. I'm representing Cobham Satcom, company which you might have known as Tran and Tran in the old days. Cobham Satcom has been shipping Inmarsat terminals and Iridium terminals for the last 30, 40 years to the shipping community, which is now an installed base of roughly 300,000 Inmarsat C, Inmarsat A, B, and fleet broadband terminals out there. So it's the industry where we are strongest. And what I want to talk about today is, of course, not only do we have, not only are we the real number one, but also we have a lot of exciting new stuff coming on. And that's probably this is why I didn't bring any slides, because I just want to tease the audience in a way that, which I discussed with Andreas before, is what would be exciting to talk about today. And that is not necessarily just talking about the company. I could mention that we've just gone through a £4 billion buyout. All of Cobham has just been acquired by Advent International, the same holding company that owns V-Ships. We are part of that now, so we're a private company now. Cobham PLC has been delisted from the London Stock Exchange, and we're now reinvesting in technology. And why is that important? Because the next 5 years, and that's for this audience also to consider, is probably the most exciting time which we've ever seen in satellite communication. This is what our métier is. This is what we do. We make satellite communication and radio communication systems. The next 5 years are going to be so exciting, not only from the incumbent providers like Inmarsat is launching a new mega constellation in the next 2-3 years, but there will also be new players coming online in the next 4 or 5 years. So you will see a lot of change from what you've seen the last 20, 30, 40 years. That's nothing from what you will see over the next 5 years. The satellite industry is undergoing a major change, almost disruptive, fundamental change. And all what we want to say here today is we're ready for that. That means that we are investing in the technology today. Most of the antennas, which can be reused even to an extent, all of these technologies coming online in the next 5 years can be used with the current breed of parabolic antennas. So watch out for this space. There will be a lot of news coming from us, not only on the broadband side, so what to expect from all these new mega constellations, mega satellite constellations, of course, is that the bandwidth would go from what you today have, maybe 2 or 4 megabit, will be tenfold, maybe 20-fold in 3 or 4 years' time. So that means for you, as the shipping community, whatever you have held back or hesitated with of using the internet on the ship can be done in the future, because there will be an abundance of broadband in the next couple of years coming online from the incumbents like Inmarsat, but also new companies that have not been part of the maritime community yet, but they will push into this space for sure. So you're looking forward to a very exciting time with the current price levels challenged, but also with the broadbands multiplying in the quite near future. So that will be a very, very exciting time where we will also be part of that. And so that's the broadband side of things, but also, as most of you know, some of the other core technologies, like for example Inmarsat C on the safety side, that's getting quite old now. The satellites are 25 years old, so this will all be renewed over the next 2 years with very clever smart technology where you have one message terminal on the bridge which covers all the L-band requirements on safety. So many clever solutions will be made available over the next couple of years to both support the broadband but also the safety side from the different satellite operators. And we will be part of that. So it's a very exciting time to be in, and probably the most changing times we've ever seen in our business ever. So that's something to look forward to. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the last speaker, I'm just afraid that the collective appetite in this room is going to beat shipping affairs very soon, so I'll be quick. I'll keep it interesting. I've got some cool slides. So I'll start with the hot topic, digitalization, and taking cue from the previous panelists. you would have deduced that it's important. There were many reasons given by them, and to add to that, another reason is that the daily hires are running so low that the difference between your voyage ending up in a profit or a loss could be digitalization. If you've not signed up to this idea, you are willing to risk your voyages going in loss even though you determine it to be in a profit before the voyage. But when it comes to digitalization, there are a lot of inhibitions, concerns. We went through a few in the morning. One of the biggest ones that I've heard is replacing humans. I think it's the Terminator effect, the movie effect in our heads that it's going to replace it, but I don't think in the near future it can replace the human decision-making capabilities. So the idea is to augment AI, give the business intelligence to the operators, the people who are on the front line, commercial managers, technical superintendents, and vessel operators, give them the information so that they can take decisions effectively, easily, for more number of ships. Right. One of the problems with technology slowly becoming rampant in shipping is the diversification or just the choices that a ship owner or a manager has today. There are so many applications, weather routing, noon reports, analytics, MRV, bunker procurement, SSAS testing. You need to sign up with so many vendors to provide these services to you that the procurement team is losing it. The managers are spending a lot of time to take a call on it, and I think that's going to be a problem. And this is the reason that we at Tototheo Maritime decided to fuse all these services and tools on one platform, and that's the whole idea behind it, to overcome these challenges. We also train the users so that they don't have to go through a sharp learning curve to adapt to these systems. But end of the day, the superintendent or the managers or the operators are the ones taking a call with their ships because they are their assets. To use this example, weather foresight, we've got all algorithms to give you the most optimum route with the least weather resistance, but to take the operational call to execute that voyage still lies with the master or the operator to guide him. Similarly, energy efficiency, we've got the ISO 19030 as the standards, but it's not regulatory. It's a proactive measure to run your ships efficiently. And there are beautiful dashboards like the one which I have from our company. But at the end of the day, the decision to clean your hull or to clean your propeller in a proactive way for an efficient running of your ships is in your hands. We can also give alarms, triggering alerts on your mobile phone, laptops, on the platform itself, where it tells you that, okay, Mr. Operator, your ship is not adhering to the TCP warranted consumption, or it's deviating from its course. Something that needed a lot of time earlier, now it can be, with technology, it can come on your phone and you can take the call. You can call the master or the chief engineer right away and take a call on it. But who's doing all this? At the end of every slide, I would like to specify that it's the human, the operator, who's taking the call finally. That will never go away, not anytime soon. Thank you.
Thank you all for convincing me that the technology exists. I mean, we heard it very clearly. If you want to communicate with your ship and transfer data, information, Yannis and Allsop, definitely they have the solution to that. If you want to get Mr. Porter control of your vessel, go to Yannis. He will keep you your certificate, so you will not have to come on board the ship, and most probably you will avoid an expanded inspection. And of course, if you want to become more efficient, go to Tototheo, they have a lovely platform. Question now is, the discussion on the panel is about what are the challenges that we are going to face by using these new technologies. And the time is running out very fast, but starting from you, Geoff, what do you think are actually our users here most probably will face as a challenge by using your own technology? I think you have to press the button.
Okay. Sorry about that. See, the bots are taken over. So basically, we've already thought about this, and this is quite a conservative industry in my mind. And it's taken us a long time with, if you look at Global Express, the concept of Global Express was quite some years ago. So now it's become mature, and I think those people using it are very, very satisfied with their solution. But so I'm kind of skeptical. I know there's a lot of new technologies coming, but I find they need a long time in our industry to become fully settled and to be fully versant and easy to use. So we at Intellian have spent a lot of time making it easier for our customers. So the whole thing about keeping costs down, so everything is pre-slung. We've lowered the size of the crate so we could go on more aircraft for faster deployment. We've basically, the installation now should take about 1 hour from the key to the vessel with all the infrastructure laid in. So you basically got a lot of cost savings on the freight charges. You've got the installation charges a lot. The commissioning is all auto now, so that you don't need to worry about different engineers with different backgrounds and different trainings. It's all automated, so you can have the same solution and the same setup for each system, so it's unified. And again, that's what we've done. We're just making what we have today even more reliable and for your customers.
Thank you. Since we're on the same subject, James, what do you think, what is your challenge or our challenge using your own technology? Because I have a challenge using the master data at the moment simply because of lack of standards. But
well, I think there's enough bandwidth today if you want to. We've been involved in projects where the challenge is probably, do ships want to be of the same infrastructure as, for example, your UPS driver? We're all used to that packages arrive at your doorsteps and it has been traced from the place where it was shipped to your own doorstep. You know, any time it's changed any position of the package, even from Amazon or whoever that is, you know where it is. What the shipping industry probably has to consider, do I want to inform my customer of where the 100,000 tons of iron ore is at sea, or do we wait for 2 weeks until it arrives at the other end? So this kind of logistical...
But it's that, I want to stop on that one.
Yeah.
Is that a question to the shipping industry, or is it a question the shipping industry has to answer to Amazon and Alibaba? Because if we go to the container lining, Amazon would be the one that would demand the timestamps.
Yes.
And therefore shipping doesn't have anything to do with it. Then they have to provide.
Yes. So that's the question, if that will happen. There have been rumors that Amazon is entering the shipping industry. They already own aircraft. They know the whole drill of that. And that, of course, that means the core of all that is data transfer. So anytime something happens, there will be data moved from the vessel. Also is the reality of that, or the biggest challenge is most vessels are analog, that you can't really monitor your engines, your tanks, your automation systems, even if you wanted to from remote, because there are not systems enough in place which would enable all of that. So those are the challenges. So there is bandwidth coming online, back to my little speech there, which would enable all that. There will be a lot of bandwidth in the next coming years. The challenge is how to go deeper into digitization and to make all of this work, to provide all of our customers, the people who pay for the shippers, pay for all the cargo to be shipped, to provide them with more information, to make the crew happier and all of that. So that's for sure the biggest challenges where we can all work together on.
Thank you. 30 seconds to Yannis, 30 seconds to Navneet for a question.
Thank you, Andreas. I'll take it a bit differently. Our first customer for our Maritime issuing digital certificates platform was from aviation. and he only took 2 meetings. We are struggling to convince the stakeholders in the maritime industry to start issuing, for their own sake, basically, digital certificates. So we got an airport handling company, which they have a training center, and they are audited from the airlines in just 2 meetings, and the platform was already up and running, and now they're using it. We're doing numerous meetings or traveling all around the world to convince training centers, crewing companies, or flag states to consider having the platform. And so far, we only have one, which is a private, more or less, flag state. So this is what this is what we're facing: the willingness to change from people, maybe legislation, but it's very difficult.
Navneet, very quickly, please.
Yeah, I think Yannis is right. It's the inertia to change in the maritime sector, which is the roadblock.
Mike. That's it.
Yeah. It's the inertia to change, and that's my point of view also. It's not regulatory to use softwares to help you optimize your fleet and your documentation, for example. But when there is a push from IMO, then there is always the struggle to catch up. And while it is not there, there's always some blockage from the management. Yeah.
With that last thought, I will close the panel, and I give you just a very small point of caution. In a previous panel, you heard about sustainable financing and ESG. For those who don't know what ESG stands for, it's environment, social, and governance. And you are not going to get financing unless you get rid of so-called greenwashing. Although ETS is greenwashing, but I'm not going to stop on that one. So the challenge is, do you want the regulator to bring them to take these technologies, or you're going to do it proactively? With those thoughts, thank you very much.